I'd like to call the meeting to order at 5:35. And I'd like to acknowledge that today's board meeting is being held within the traditional territory of the Daneza and Treaty 8. At this time, I'd like to call for any additions to the agenda.
Can we add when we do engagement discussion your contribution to this?
So under 6.
Yeah.
Okay, can I get a motion for the acceptance of the agenda with the changes? David and Bill? All in favor? Carried. And then at this time, is there declarations of conflict of interest? Anyone else?
I have a conflict with, through my daughters.
Okay, thank you.
Allie's this substitute teacher, PTC, so
Okay,
it's,
okay, thank you.
At BCGU, and I live with the person that makes me conflict.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm in the yellow zone of conflict according to BCPC because I have a son and daughter-in-law that work from home.
I think I said last I was yellow, so my daughter worked for district during the summer. Currently doesn't, don't know what her summer will, what next summer will bring. So
Okay. I think Thomas chatted something there.
He's struggling to hear. He said that his microphone turned down. I'm actually struggling to hear too, so.
yeah, people would speak up.
Jim voice.
yeah, we were all talking quiet, like as if we're dirty little secret.
I know.
Conflict.
Oh, my God.
Red conflict.
I'm yellow. The conflict with sound system.
And if you have any conflict, Thomas, just say so or text me, whatever's easiest.
I'll go ahead and declare. I'm in the yellow zone. My mother is a non-union employee of Northern Health. She is, though, she does work part-time in a union position, in the one-off, maybe once or twice a month.
Noted, all of the declarations of conflict. So, at this time, we'll make sure I'm not missing anything. Jump into the elections of the board officers. And the first one is the election of the board chair. So at this time, I'd like to call for nominations.
And you might just have to speak up just a little bit so Thomas can hear you. Okay, I'll take one for Thomas.
I'm not used to having help. I'm on my own.
He always helps you.
He always helps.
Oh, maybe not.
President. The Indigenous one.
It's okay. It was thinking, I don't think she got through all the material that we wanted to.
I think you Suatang has all the information though.
And just made sure we got one for everyone.
We were getting texts of the Northern Lights. Christy and I were down at a conference there and everybody was texting across the north. Yeah. it's-
Oh my goodness, that was bright. Never seen.
It was funny because Steffi sent the WhatsApp about half hour prior. This is the map where you people should see it. I was like, oh yeah, whatever.
So we have 3 nominees for the position. We have Nicole Gillis, Madeline Lehman, and Helen Gilbert. So we need to alternate Dan. If you like your name down.
Just so Thomas, I'm
No.
not sure if Thomas can hear you.
No,
so-
thank you.
No, for me.
No? Helen, do you like your name stand?
Yeah.
I am pleased to announce Helen.
And that I can take.
I was wondering why I was in front of you.
Congratulations.
All right.
Next question. So is this where we can talk?
No.
No.
It's a no, I can't talk or?
No,
Later.
the process is at the very end of the agenda. That's when you need to, you get to give your report.
Okay.
And then there's the opportunity to ask any questions related to the agenda. Gwen will go through it with this. She knows the process really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, we wait, I'm checking to see it.
And then she calls us if we got it. As long as it's me.
All right. I'm looking for the ballots to be handed out for nomination of vice chair, please.
Sorry, anyone.
Okay, I'll be back.
You bet. Nomination of vice chair, Thomas. Waiting for a signal from.
From ET.
Bill, when you go, just, it's a, oh, good.
Time. I guess.
That's okay.
All right, we have nominations for 3 people for vice chair. Nicole Gillis, Madeline Lehman, and Bill Snow. Nicole, will you let your name stand?
Yes.
Right. Madeline, will you let your name stand?
Yes.
Bill, will you let your name stand?
For sure.
All right, so each of you has the opportunity to speak to why you would like the position. Does anybody want to begin, or do I just pick? All right, how about Nicole? You want to start?
I get to go first. I foresee having more time this year than last. I'm no longer doing most of my lab work, traveling as much. My kids are older. Recent events have pushed me into becoming more engaged, and I'd just be really good at it.
Bill,
Feel that I like to be involved and get out and be part of the community, in schools. And like to keep on doing that. Not that I won't, but I mean, even more.
Madeline,
Well, I think time of my life that I can actually dedicate more time. And I see Helen is doing a lot of work and I would like to help out and have her back as well. And I think I'd be really good at it too.
all right, we'll ask for the ballots to be distributed, please, and thank you. No, Thomas, we'll try and bell her so you can hear us.
Sounds good. I'm in the middle of ongoing and offgoing crying, so I'm gonna try to keep myself muted as long as possible. And I was able to wolf down about 3/4 of my dinner, so that's a happy note.
And I don't hear your daughter, so maybe it's a quiet night.
Oh, she's here. She's just napping in her swing, kind of on and off, and the minute she wakes up, she lets everybody know really quickly.
Well, we have a little something for you and your baby. Bill's agreed to drop it off so that I get it to you while she can still fit it.
Sounds good. And I apologize, I wasn't able to be there in person. I
okay.
got home a little late today from the office.
Drop it off tomorrow, so it's not too late tonight. Okay.
What's that?
I'll drop it off tomorrow, so it's not too
So-
late tonight.
We have a tie at this
Sounds
point between Madeline and Nicole for the position of vice chair, so another ballot will come around.
Everybody got one?
Congratulations to our new vice chair, Nicole. Moving on to election for the position of provincial counselor, and the description of that was included with the information that was sent out previously regarding that position.
This is for provincial vice chair.
Provincial counselor.
Ah, geez, provincial council.
Okay, combine roles. You are the superintendent, but.
Am I a conflict on this one? There's no conflict, and that's fine.
Right. Nominees for provincial counselor are Ida Campbell, Madeline Lehman, Helen Gilbert, Bill Snow, and David Scott Moncrief. So we'll go through and see who will allow their name to stand. So, David.
Thank you.
Bill. Bill is a yes?
Yes.
Madeline?
No.
Ida?
No.
So congratulations, Bill. You are our new provincial. Moving on to the election of the alternate for provincial counselor. All right, we have 4 nominations for the alternate for provincial counselor. David, will you let your name stand? Right. Nicole,
No, if David will, then I don't need to.
Ida?
No. David?
Okay. Congratulations, David, you are our alternate.
Wow, that's great.
The fourth was Helen.
Helen, did you decline on the last one?
Yes, she did. Yeah.
I just did it unofficial, you know.
We did do our math that they were only.
You figured it out, so that's it.
Well, I need it for the minutes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Part of your job is to read
Somewhere.
minds.
Yeah. All right, so election of BCPC rep. We do only have one trustee that is in 0 degree of conflict. I will note that at this time. And what we did last time is we looked for looking at those people that have declared conflict in the yellow zone as appropriate for the role as well. But BCPC, when it comes to some of their things, want none. So just framing the discussion.
So for sure, Bill and I are in red zones.
There was a color above red, if you would be.
I'm not my union rep anymore at work.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm about less, I think.
You're just a little above red.
That's such a broad net. Cast on that. Oh. We have 2, Madeline and Nicole.
Madeline, this is for the alternate?
No, this is for the BCPC rep.
Oh. Well, I'm 0 right now, but I could be in conflict by June. So, no.
Madeline says yes. Congratulations, Madeline. You are BCPC rep. And Thomas has the baby.
Hello. Look at you.
All right.
Stealing the.
We're moving on to the election of the alternate BCPC rep. Great. We have nominations for 3 individuals, Nicole, myself, and Thomas. Thomas, will you let your name stand?
I appreciate the nomination, with the current status of baby, work, self-employment. I'm gonna humbly pass on this one. Thank you, though.
Great. Myself, I will let my name stand. Nicole?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get your steps in while I'm walking on the outside.
Good exercise. Need it.
Oh, there's 2. Did you text that to me yet, Thomas?
Sorry. Who are the nominations?
No, this is the vote for,
Yeah, he said. who
Yeah.
are the
yeah,
nominees?
oh, the nominees
Helen
are
and Nicole.
Nicole and Helen for the alternate BCPC rep. Got it.
And congratulations to Nicole, who is our new alternate BCPC rep. Right. Could I please have someone make a motion to destroy the ballots? Moved by David, seconded by Ida. Calling the question, all in favor? Very thanks, Thomas. All right, moving on to audit committee. Recognizing that every trustee is a member of the audit committee, but we need to have some individuals designated because we have to have meetings 4 times a year, and we must have 3 trustees in attendance at those meetings. And they should actually probably be 3 other than the chair. So we don't do this by ballot. We've done this by volunteer before. Who would be willing to serve on the audit? Pardon?
Sorry, he said well.
Yeah, I think we kind of had volunteered.
Yep, okay.
And I think and the reason why we kind of would like to see 3 names committed is because we do need quorum. And we ran into that at the last, when we did the audit committee. Like that was part of our, with KPMG, and if we don't have quorum, it kind of.
The chair can step in to make
And
quorum, but
we
we
did it.
really, and that was what we did, but we really need 3 other people present. Or 3 other trustees present. Andrew doesn't count.
She gets to take notes.
I'll do it
Paul? Bill?
4 times a year?
Yeah.
Short, long?
How long as they need to be to get the information?
Is it always with KPMG?
No,
That's
one is
one.
typically with Angela, and it's the line by line review of the budget.
And then we do audit, the amended budget, and then we do the annual budget and we do the audited financial statements, and then we have one more in there. To go
Where we do
over
kind
the
of the deep
pre-audit.
dive, yeah.
Yeah, to do the pre-audit, the deep dive, for the pre-audit. So. Bill, David, Madeline. Bill? Okay.
And if you'd let us know when it is, I usually try to attend.
Thank you. Right. At the last meeting, the concept was out there that if people were looking to change their school liaisons, you were asked to let me know. And I haven't heard from anybody, so my assumption is that people would like to continue with the liaison roles that they've been assigned. Unless, Nicole, you wanted to, right now you're doing Hudson Hope, and if you want to add more, that becomes a possibility.
Yeah, if anybody has an in-town school, perhaps middle school. If I could.
Okay, we'll look at figuring something out. Okay. All right. Presentations and delegations, I don't believe that we have any. And I would like to start with trustee engagement and celebration on behalf of all of you. Click for me, Stephen. So I'm very happy that we had broad representation throughout the entire region for Remembrance Day. And so Cecil Lake, first of all. And we've included this picture because students from Clearview did poppy rocks that I was actually talking to Madeline. She said, the bus just went by, I'm going to the graveyard. And they had placed those at the memorial prior to the Remembrance Day ceremony. And, you know, it speaks to the fact that throughout our district, there was incredible work done in our schools around Remembrance Day. If you've been in and out of school, if you've seen Remembrance Day art, I saw Remembrance Day writing. And probably one of the coolest things that happened for me was I was sitting in an arena and two little people in front of me, I'm not even sure which school they represented, were having a conversation about, did you know animals were really important during the war? And somebody had talked about horses and dogs and things like that. And these two little people in front of me had this conversation. So a really big thank you and shout out to our staff for the work that they do around this topic. And then Fort St. John, and the reminder that family is really important. And Thomas' son, and then the laying of the wreath inside.
Keep going.
Yep. And then in Taylor, we have David and Ida and some students with the constabulary, like people in red. Each community has their own flavor of a Remembrance Day ceremony, and there's huge similarities, but there's also independent things that happen. The elected officials with our students. And then in Hudson Hope, the principal had 3 students, actually 4 students that came forward, but 3 only actually came on the day. And their presentation is a little different. We get the wreath, and then the next one, Stephen. We are escorted to the cenotaph by either a member of the Rangers or the RCMP. And so we walked up together, and I included this one just because the veteran sitting there is over time been there, and he's the last veteran that I know left in Hudson Hope from when I started. So we had to include this picture. So thank you, everybody, for your presence and your work around that. Moving on, we will, Trustee Campbell, engagements and celebrations for you.
Yes, I attended a couple of the schools, went on Halloween to look at the kids in their costumes. And I went to the Remembrance Day in Taylor along with David and the international students. And this year there was 5 RCMP there, and I asked the one, I says, we usually only have 3. He says, we were arguing who got the picture with the international students, so they sent 5 of them. And also, I don't know if I had sent you the picture, but I did also take a picture of the Taylor Fire Department because they have students as junior firefighters. So they also were there as
Oh, I
well.
didn't see that.
And I might not have sent you the picture. And then I've been to my PAC meetings. I went to Taylor's Packed Craft Sale, and I will be going to Beldano's Carnival this Friday night. And I had a phone conversation with our MLA, Ely.
Okay. Trustee Gillis.
I went to the school for their Halloween parade where the elementary kids parade through in their costumes. I attended quickly the Remembrance Day thing that they did at the school, which was the Friday beforehand because they didn't have school on the 10th. I've met with the principal. I've had conversations with the principal in the last couple of weeks. I volunteered, drove the junior girls volleyball team to Chetwan 2 weekends ago. And the student council put on a trivia night last week, Thursday night, that I attended.
Trustee Lehman.
I attended the Clearview and RO PAC, the Remembrance Day, and the BCPC Symposium last Thursday, Friday, and it was online, so I attended that.
Trustee Scott Moncrief.
Had a wonderful visit at Ellen Holland at our committee of the whole. Really enjoyed the tour with the students, the ambassadors. We had I can't tell you how much fun I had down in Taylor, Ida. The Remembrance Day, and my exchange students explaining what we do in Canada compared to what they do in Europe, Brazil. Had conversations with most of my administrators, got an update on the construction out at 101. Very excited about how that's coming. Can't wait to see that. That is my report.
Thank you very much. Trustee Whitten.
So thank you for mentioning Remembrance Day. It was absolutely beautiful that day, and it was a nice solemn day, but it was a great day to be out there nonetheless. It was great to be at Alwyn Holland. As David mentioned, it was really, really good. This past week, I was at a bonspiel for the Petroleum Association, in which I fell down and am now feeling the repercussions of such. Some great conversations with parents and other people that might be interested in running in the next election, which was really nice. It's good to see people getting involved, and I hope to continue to see more people get involved.
Trustee Snow.
Right, so went out and did some volleyball, went out to 2 elementary matches, went to North Peace. There was a volleyball fundraiser where the girls and the boys played against the alumni teams. The gym was packed for that. Then this past weekend was the regional volleyball championships, and our girls are going to provincials. Then we went to Alwyn Holland for our visit. The DPAC SUPAC meeting, visited North Peace, Attorney ELC and Bert Ambrose, and had talked to the principals there. The Legion Remembrance Day ceremony. Then November 10th, I went to ceremonies at both the high school and Bert Bowes. This weekend coming, and I've done planning before it, but I'm wearing my red suit for the French schools fundraiser down at Pomeroy. And I've been doing planning with the senior alternates to wear the same suit, do some fundraising to get hampers, food hampers for the high school students. And sorry, one more. Bert Bowes, there was an entrepreneurial fair I went to.
All right. So I attended a Learning Forward AI presentation. Provincial Council as an observer, branch president meeting, I was an observer also well, not an observer, but I attended BCPC symposium, labor management meeting, a board chair call, Remembrance Day in Hudson's Hope. I've been able to do a couple of volleyball games that Mom Murray and Aro went and watched. I got to see a cotton candy making band student at Taylor Pack's craft sale and to support some of the band students raising funds for Niagara. And if you're feeling generous or are looking for silent auction prizes, we end up in conflict with going to Academy and miss the band concert, but if you're feeling generous, that's there. And I got to play at Elmer Holland too, so that was pretty exciting. What you guys don't know what Ida did, I got to play with a little guy I knew who couldn't figure out who I was. And as soon as I said ribbit,
Yeah.
he connected me with the ride, so then I had to ribbit quite a lot. So when I said play, I played.
So Helen, can I just say, just because it's something that has happened, the senior band is going to Whistler and the junior band is going to Niagara Falls. And if you want to donate, if you say Niagara, it only goes to the junior. If you donate to the band, it goes to both trips.
Right.
So just clarification, because they didn't have enough senior members willing to pay to go to Niagara, so they're going to Whistler.
Okay. All right, moving on to item number 7 on our agenda, minutes of the regular board meeting of October the 20th, which is page 6 to 13 in the package. Oh, thank you. You reminded me. Board contribution to Christmas dinner the last few years between myself and Ida, we have done something on behalf of the board. Is there a desire for that to happen again?
Do you need a vote on that or?
Well, we don't need to vote. We just need to know if we're
Absolutely.
going. So Ida put together the basket last year, so if you have things.
Yeah, I did 3 baskets.
You did 3 baskets, so
Can you,
if you have, if you're
delegate us?
going to do baskets again, what kind of items would you like?
Whatever anyone wants to donate, I can do a theme around it, so.
So if you have things.
Because that's how I did it last year, is I just picked 3 themes and did 3 baskets.
Are they raffled or given? Or?
No, they're the door prizes. Yeah, last year I just did the 3 on my own, and I think Bill donated some stuff that was a door prize separate.
And when do you need it by? When would you want it by?
The night after the party.
Well, it's finished.
It's on the 6th, so the week before.
By the 28th.
Yeah,
You'll do that?
yeah, I can do it.
Right,
Then it'll depend on how much stuff.
what you do.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, so that's taken care of. Thanks for keeping me on.
I will do at least 3.
All right, so we'll move back to the minutes of October 20th, which is page 6 to 13 in your package. Right, may I have a mover, please? Moved by Madeline, seconded by Thomas. Any errors or omissions? Any discussion around those minutes? Calling the question, all in favor? Business arising from the minutes. Thank you to Stephen for drafting the letter related to the proposed program for training school psychologists. It did end up as correspondence later in our board package, but it also ended up in one of the BCSTA weeklies. So thank you very much for doing the work on that. Is there any further business arising? We've done the late school liaisons. Okay. And we started the work on connection with other governments. So that will be business that continues. All right. Looking now at the excerpts of the September 22nd in-camera meeting, which is page 14 in your package. Give me just a second to look at that. Can I please have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Ida, seconded by David. Any errors or omissions? Calling the question then, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. All right, moving on to announcements and reminders. Lots going on. Anything missing from this that people are noticing?
The 5th of November.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that wants to go to the SUPAC meeting on the 25th? David? You? Anything else? All right. We'll move on then to senior staff reports.
Item number 1 under my report is the HR activity report. Under education is my online report, and number 2 and 3, please to vote for the notice of motion on district field trips and post responsibility. And so this evening, so that's small, try and make it bigger. Under intellectual development, it's actually quite a big undertaking to do our beginning band retreat. And so they did that successfully again at the Cultural Center this time. They've had it in Taylor in the past in different locations. And they're all prepping for the band concert coming up on November 27th, if you're able to attend, between 6 and 9 in the Northeast Cultural Center. We've seen some significant changes and improvements in the NPSS cafeteria. Some trustees will remember previous meetings with SUPAC and DPAC around the cost of the food, and so we've been supporting the high school to essentially take on the cafeteria as their own. And the picture there is a gentleman by the name of Gio, and with his team, with support from Nancy Birchall as well as support from district staff, they've turned it into their own little restaurant. They have, as part of that, they have a pantry, this third picture here, which is free snacks or food for any students who are hungry during the day. They also have water set out that has frozen food in it, so they have nice flavored water throughout the entire day for kids. Been very popular so far. What's really great too is this is called the Square. It's a tracking system to see what are the items that are sold the most, how many sales in a day, week, previous week, month. So they can really start to get a handle on making sure whatever program they have is sustainable financially. And so it all seems to be heading in the right direction. And so just some pictures to show you there. And certainly down the road, I encourage trustees to pop in there, or we can do a visit together to check out the new offerings for the NPSS cafeteria. Just to let you know, in collaboration with the City of Dawson Creek and SD 59, we will be sending, thousands of students to Dawson Creek on December 1st, 3rd, and 5th to take part and see the Paralympic hockey games in preparation for the Olympics coming up later on. And so there is a list of the schedule. Monday is Czechia versus Canada, China versus Czechia, and then the semifinal. And so we have most of our intermediate students in the district, as well as our 2 middle schools in town and some of our surrounding schools. Logistics didn't allow us to do Hudson's Hope and Upper Halfway, but there is an information being sent out to parents around buying 1 ticket, get 1 free. And so we'll be there with all the other students from Dawson Creek and cheering on those teams. So that's pretty exciting. There's a new video out. I won't play it here, but it's actually produced by WorkSafe. They brought a team up during our Project Heavy Duty in the spring, and they made a few from around the province. And it was interesting to see some of the different ones, but this is the one they made from Port St. John. It's very professionally done and essentially reiterates that the SD60 program is the biggest and most extensive in the province. You'll see students exploring healthcare careers, and so you might have seen this advertised or this article and laid out how our ELC students annually get to visit booths on a number of different healthcare opportunities and careers. So that continued this past year as well. New this year is Sandra Gunn is offering elementary music training sessions. So we're supporting her at Ann Roberts Young. She's working part-time there, and once a month she's offering music classes to help teachers plan for and deliver music instruction to elementary kids. So we're hoping the uptake continues on that. Right now she's just started with a handful of teachers. Several book clubs available to our staff. You can read through here. I've made these as links. There are several workshops available in the month of November for all tranches of staff, from support staff, teachers, regular exam, anyone interested in all these topics to support learning in the classroom, particularly around inclusion. Under Truth and Reconciliation, our staff is participating in a pretty exciting conference. They're looking at alternate forms of a judicial system for local Indigenous peoples and setting up an actual court process for that. So they're going to be listening to what that entails. I believe they've started one in Prince George now, and they've been looking at that potential in the piece as well. DOIG, of course, is hosting that and is involved with the participants and the people setting that up. Under our Take 3 celebrations around the districts, Dia de los Muertos is a Spanish activity that was facilitated by Adriana Baranti at the high school there. We can see some pictures and the way that they understood the culture and learned about that in the class. Duncan Crown Elementary, they had the Halloween exchange. Hard to believe, but yes, students bring in bags of candy in exchange for healthy food, and so they've been able to do that over the past. And somehow the kids keep bringing in candy.
They keep bringing in the candy, and I think it gets used in the Santa Claus parade.
Okay.
They give it to
Oh,
somebody to use to
that's
hand out in the
perfect.
Santa Claus parade, so
That's
it just recycles back.
That's great.
And pick it up there.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And then
And
Taylor
it's
Element. Sorry?
Like the best, there's the pineapples.
Yeah. There you go. And Taylor Elementary Rock On is part of their SEL. They engage in some activities here and with their leadership group. And so you can read about that here. And that is my online report. And then I'll be asking for out-of-district field trips and postal responsibilities. Thank you.
Right. Could I please have a mover and a seconder for everything but pull-out motions? Moved by Bill, seconded by Thomas. Discussions and questions. We'll start with the HR summary report. Any questions related to that?
We're all looking at you, Bill.
What?
No question. Moving on then to the electronic report. Anything related to beginner band? Cafeteria, is nice to see some changes there.
So I have a positive and negative comment over here.
Sure.
Start with positive for sure. But when I go there for my visits, I've noticed that students on their birthday get a meal for half price. as a birthday thing.
Okay.
Which is really nice. Hey, a positive thing for sure. But on the other side, while I was in my other capacity,
Right.
looking for jobs for some people, I seen postings for people working in the canteen. But you need your license to work in the canteen. Couldn't figure that one out. Why would you need your license to work in the canteen?
You need food safe.
Like food safe?
No, driving license.
That would be for actual staff.
Yeah.
Prior to the thing, you need to have a driver's license. Yeah, that's for all of our staff positions.
They go get groceries.
I asked,
And you need to get to work.
I asked the school, and they get all the food delivered to the school.
Not necessarily, but it's a condition of employment in SD60 to have a driver's license.
Feedback from having a restaurant is you can order all the food you want and then you forget that one pivotal item and someone's got to jump in the car and go get it. So
So we didn't make that up.
Oh, no, that's
That's,
good.
you need to have a driver, you need, as a staff member, you need to have a mobility. And I forgot to show here, Bill, I zoomed in enough here, it's hard to see, but those lunch options, so the wrap is $5, but below there's some other options for $4. So you're looking at between $4 and $6 for a full-on substantial lunch. That's almost a third of the price that was being charged in the past.
I checked it out. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And what they're making is like, there's quantity to it also.
Yeah.
And compared to what it was before, kind of thing.
And that's, yeah, so it's good.
Air hockey attendant?
Oh, and yeah, so a lot of this is being sponsored, by the companies and things like that. So there's no cost to the kids. So City of Dawson Creek has organized it all. They get a lunch, they get the tickets for free and to watch that. So it's pretty exciting.
And I did watch the video.
Oh, cool. What do you think?
That's good. Jack promised us a video. You just didn't tell us WCB was doing.
Yeah, and we've done our own too. It's just, yeah.
Really nice video.
Appreciate music training.
Yeah.
I think that is a tough one for teachers who are not familiar, so I
Absolutely.
think it's good to have music in them.
We're really grateful Sandra's still wanting to help out with that.
We wouldn't let her retire. We
No.
had to drag her back
Yeah.
in.
Refocus, repurpose. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
I only let that talent go.
Lots of Pope Art stuff.
Yeah, I
which is
was
good.
surprised how many are in November here. There is a link to learn more about the conference. as
Yeah,
well.
that's quite interesting.
I can't see the dates.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's November 19th to 21st. Yeah.
So when you say staff, is it,
Pat, Roberta,
okay, that's what I
Pat
wanted.
Roberta, I think, and then maybe a third. Yeah. Stuff.
Right. Calling the question then, all in favor of accepting that part of Stephen's report? Right. Out of district field trips attachment. Could I please have someone make the motion that the Board of Education approve the attached out of district field trips as presented? Moved by Nicole, seconded by Madeline. Any discussion related to those out of district field trips? Discussion then, calling the question, all in favor? Thank you. And we have a motion related to post of responsibility. Could I please have someone make the motion that the Board of Education approve the attached post of responsibility as presented? By David, seconded by Bill.
That's what responsibility is.
The post of responsibility in Hudson Home.
Yeah, so each of our middle and secondary schools have post responsibility as part of supporting the school, and in conjunction with the district, professional development, hosting department meetings.
Okay. I thought they usually said head of
Not necessarily,
math department or phys ed or something, but
not necessarily, not when you have a school of the size of it. So for example, you don't have like, can't have 5 different departments. Yeah, so it depends on the size of the school.
Calling the question then, all in favor?
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the secretary treasurer's report.
Thank you. For my report, I have the finance update to the end of October. The 2025-26 school district enrollment, and then the support staff HR summary from October 17th to November 30th.
Could I please have a mover and a seconder for, moved by David, seconded by Thomas, for Angela's report, and then we will go through item by item, and we will start with the finance report.
Okay, no issues?
No issues so far.
And it's not an issue, just curiosity about the miscellaneous, of course, sorry. But, so was there just, I mean, just like purchasing it varied throughout the year? Did you get a big chunk in, or are we actually?
We did, I was ready for you.
Yeah, you know you would be.
The 179 includes the proceeds from that bus that was written off in June.
Okay,
So
that's why we're higher.
higher than
Did you
expected.
get to buy it back for parts?
Any further questions about Angela related to the financial report? Right, moving on to the school district number 60 enrollment report.
Sorry, that's a great point. So the comparison is the actual enrollment for 25-26 versus the estimated enrollment for 25-26. And so that number we're down 47 from projected. In this brick and mortar, down 13.6 for online learning, and that translates to approximately 5.
So we have to find some savings, you're saying.
So in answer to David's question, currently we're great, and then more to come as
A
I.
headache is coming.
So do we, I mean, it's not obviously there's a difference, it's not huge, and yet at the same time, do we see trends as to why? Is it actual people leaving the community? Is it people finding different ways for education? Do we?
I think it's a combination that we could definitely look into that and bring it back to you. That's more of a Jared Bell sort of question, and I don't. We can try to see what we can find. I have a feeling we won't get very far.
To be
but-
honest, nothing obvious.
Nothing obvious.
We had a little close. So that was,
But that's not the first year.
no, but that was, it's just packed up
Yeah.
and gone. The closing of, or the downsizing, downscaling of the dam, so. There's it's not nothing dramatic, it's.
No, it's just that
Scaling back a
I
bit.
mean, is it, like I said, sometimes it's things like that. Now, if it's all of a sudden, people start pulling out, they're going more onto homeschooling, then maybe that could be a question. I don't know.
Great observation.
How much did you say online was down?
13.
13.
Do we get access or can we get access to the other schools in the area, see if they are growing?
You mean the online?
No, I mean like the,
Other districts or?
no, like the other schools.
So the other.
Private schools.
Students
Oh, the
that,
private schools.
Are they growing?
I don't have
No,
access
okay.
to.
Oh, that's mean, can we? I don't know.
Yeah, you probably can when some of the online results come out. In January when they update, probably can find that information.
You have,
It'll be a hunt, but
we have like a half dozen private schools here.
do we?
Yeah, we don't have as much knowledge as the independent schools. I have heard of a few, like a few in churches and things recently, but I don't know what their enrollment is.
And then if I can, Angela, how that sometimes plays out depending on where the shortages are. It means you're not necessarily adding a division here or a division there, or you're holding off on some of that kind of thing. So you still try and maintain a certain student to teacher ratio in the district. And so that's how that plays out, whether you have more than you expected or less than you expected.
The HR support staff summary is the last part of Angela's report. All right, if there's no questions related to that, calling the question, all in favor of accepting Angela's report? All right, moving on to reports of the regular committee of the whole meeting of November the 23rd, which is pages 17 to 19 in your package. Yep, they're not. All right, could I please have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Nicole, seconded by Thomas. Any errors or omissions? All right, calling the question, then all in favor? Business arising from the minute. Yes, I will come back with connection with local government. And Angela will look into having facilities department staff come a couple of times a year to provide an update to the board. And have we had a chance at all to look into the details around the cost use of SARS and possibly adding Hudson Hope?
Yes, actually I had an email ready to draft it. I just forgot to hit send because things are in my inbox. I can give you a verbal right now if you'd like. With acronyms. So the service provided is that we are directly registered with SARS so that if an emergency does arise, that they already have all of our information and we just have to call them. We'll deploy somebody to the location. The service is intended for staff for areas that are 20 minutes from major hospitals. And then it does not provide us with preferential access or treatment. Means that we're following all of our information so that it's quicker. And the sites we currently serve are Buick Creek, Clearview, to Upper Halfway 101, and we added Hudson Hope and Camp Cameron to that list.
Cost
$200 per site.
per year.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, Cameron Lake, it's touch and go as to whether it's 20 minutes from Chetwynd, but you never know whether Chetwynd Hospital is open or not. Yeah. In the scheme of life. Not. Right. Any further business arising from those minutes?
This is the committee of the whole, right? Grandma?
Yeah,
Just, do you remember that last, so we go to Bell Donald next, right? So do you remember how we asked the students what a trustee does? And then we talked about, like, I gave an answer last time. So I don't know if, I
I
think we
did-
should always give an answer, so.
That was a good catch.
It was a
Next
good
time,
catch.
somebody else should do it.
Somewhere back, and I forgot to go and look, I did do something to send out after something about the role of the trustee and what you might say at an elementary school and what you might say. So I'll find that and circulate that, and then we can.
Like maybe just different trustee each
I'll
time
do it
wants to give a, yeah.
I'll do it.
Sounds good.
And just add to that, I think it'd be really nice like that if a different trustee does the school, then they're their liaison, because it gets to know the trustees a little bit better in the schools. So I like that idea.
All right. Moving on to, policy committee. 1.3 agenda package. So we're looking first of all, at policy, we're proposing policy 5004.2 child abuse reporting protocols. We're looking at putting this policy in place and deleting 2 others. There is a bit of a wording in the guidelines and principles that needs to be changed. We need to where it says recognizing child abuse and neglect child abuse can take, we need to say, you've got an extra child abuse in there. So that will be taken out
Yeah.
before it goes out for notice of motion. So could I please have a mover for policy 5004.2 moved by David? And it will go out for notice of motion now. All right. When things go out for notice of motion, can we explain a little bit about why we're deleting those 2 policies when they go out kind of as a package? Because I could see somebody just looking at the word delete and not linking the 2. I think it's really important that they understand what we've done there. Right. So, could I please have a mover for the Board of Education issue a notice of motion for the deletion of policy 5004.1, reporting of suspected child abuse and neglect? Ida? And then we're looking at deletion of policy 5004, child abuse, that the Board of Education issue a notice of motion for the deletion of policy 5004, child abuse. All right. Emergency health response. AED and naloxone kits is going out for notice of motion. And could I please have somebody make the motion that the Board of Education issue a notice of motion for the adoption of policy 5003, emergency health response, AEDs and naloxone kits. Thomas? Thank you. Right. We don't think we have an emergency education council update. we'll move on to other reports. And we'll start with BCSTA. Provincial Council, Trustee Gillis was unable to attend, but I had signed on as an observer. And basically, there was not a lot of new information at Provincial Council. Between Provincial Council, the branch president call and the board chair call, there was quite a duplication of information between all three different events. I brought back to the committee of the whole, the discussion item from Provincial Council when they were talking about changed processes for AGM. That was part of the conversation. The other piece out of it is the Ledge Committee is looking at reviewing all of the BCSTA's policies. That's ongoing. And the Provincial Council synopsis is available on the portal. And there was fairly extensive reports given by both the president and the CEO that contain a lot of detail. But a lot of it is things that we've already heard. Regional representation was a motion, and on to board chair call now. Regional representation was a motion that was made at AGM through the NIB that they explore regional representation. And so they are in the process of doing an extensive report that will eventually come back to the membership, where they have looked at various things. And they did a historic look at who has served as directors and who has served as presidents of the BCSTA, because there is the vision that it is very dominated by metro districts, and that is not actually the case. And at some point they will release details of that. The district that, or the branch that has had the most representation at the table is Thompson Okanagan. In all communication now, you're going to find that the BCSTA is looking at aligning their operational capacity and being more focused. So you'll hear the concept of public education matters as being their first mantra that they're working on. And what they have done is they put a lot of the motion from AGM into that and are working on them. But the key big thing there is an increase of non-targeted funds so that boards have more flexibility. There's the recognition that if you give targeted funds like Feeding Futures, there's all kinds of reporting and accounting, and you as a board don't have a say over where that money is going. So that's why the emphasis is on non-targeted funds. The second is the concept of building public education champions. And that's where they're looking at strong professional development through Academy and through the leadership series that's coming. And then the other theme is the concept of You Matter to Education. That's an emphasis on the role of boards. In all of these things, there's been a discussion about this policy review committee that Carolyn Brody has been on with the ministry, FNESC, the BC School Superintendents Association, and BC ASBO. And they're going to talk about it at Academy. And then eventually we're going to get exemplars of policy and things like that. And their hope was they're trying to help boards do a policy review, if possible, before the next election, but they're recognizing that that's a huge task. But they're hoping that this will be a toolkit for boards to revisit policy in the remainder of this term and the early part of next term. All right,
You know, can we just back up for 1 minute to
Absolutely,
the Indigenous Education Council?
absolutely.
Because we really don't have a report tonight, but the next meeting is December 11th. So we have it in our records. And I think we should also comment that, we did have a Pro D on Indigenous cultural, safety today before this meeting.
Okay,
And that came out of the last, Indigenous Council meeting that we should have this done.
okay, so we'll record that in the minutes.
Sorry about that.
That's okay, under Indigenous Council updates that the board did participate
Yeah.
in received the Indigenous Cultural Safety, Humility and Competency Guide, Leah, and did some activities prior to the board meeting so that there's a record that we have looked at them.
And the next meeting is December 11th.
Thank you. All right. Is there anything from BCPC at this time, Madeline?
Yes. The BCTC is also, AGM is coming up in January. They are looking for nominations for the representation for an IB.
Yeah.
Because Linda Martins is not getting her name down. So considering it, I would need the nomination. I can't say for sure yet, and I wouldn't actually mind if you could reach out maybe to the other.
I am going to reach out to the NIB.
Where, there's somebody else who's typing at it, that's okay. If
It
not,
will come up, it'll be part of our NIB agenda as well. if you don't mind.
okay, yes, because the nominations have to be in by December 2nd, I believe.
Yeah.
Just,
It's a 3-year term.
just what you need.
All right, so Board Pro D, we've had 3 Pro D events now at 4:30 before our regular board meetings. If there are other things that you feel we should be looking at in those, please let me know so that I can go back to district staff and ask on your behalf for those things to come up. Right. Correspondence attached to your package, I've already referenced this earlier, is the letter of support for the redevelopment of the UBC psychology program. And then under unfinished business, I gave you the OPS site update statistics. And now the suggestion is the site is currently on pace for an opening of spring of 2026. I know that there's been, within the community, somebody was circulating a petition and thought that they were going to meet with Northern Health and have the site location changed. That's not going to happen. But it is something that there is some.
I love their optimism.
Yeah, well, I think it's people that weren't in a position to be aware when it first opened. But yeah,
So, question about that. We get these, you send us these attached, like shows us how many visits. But if it's not even open, how are these?
they're
visits
using
coming?
a tent. Have a tent attached to one of the church sites right now. So you can see that there was approximately 5 uses in September.
Was at the church across from the old newspaper building, that white church there.
St. Leon's.
Okay. Do we know anything about, like, do they expect that the visits would increase once they have a real facility? Because like, that's not very many visits.
No, I think that's what they're hoping, but I don't
Great thing to
know.
hope for.
It's great to hope
Isn't that
for,
sad, right?
and you have to recognize that the amount of time they've actually been open in that facility in a 5-year lease is. We have conversation with this. If that was.
That tent's not there often.
I know this isn't our place to speak to, but just if you remember it off the top of your head, Helen, do you remember how much they were planning on investing into this thing?
No, I don't.
All right.
All right. Donna, PRNT update. You get to talk.
Yay! I've got big holes in my tongue.
Not bad.
Yeah, I like to talk. Gee, if I'm a teacher, right? Oh, just find my spot here. So I'm here to reveal. So I'm here with today is BC Red for Ed Day. And BCTF asked us, if you'd like to wear red to school today, go ahead and do it. And so here I am. And there was a whole list of things. If you're a little nervous about doing, putting on a shirt and, talking to people in the community or your principal or the teacher beside you or parents, here's a whole list of things you might say. And of course, one of the things or the major thing to say is, we're here in solidarity with our bargaining team, which is meeting today, was meeting again today in Vancouver. But I felt like when I read that, I would be here marching around for solidarity for my bargaining team, of course, but also for BCPC's bargaining team too, because if both those teams were working away together down in Vancouver and, really working at it, we might have an agreement along the way. So I thought, well, this is BC Red for Ed and BCTF Red for Ed, but I think that takes in all of the stuff that our bargaining team does on behalf of all of us, both BCPCs and BCTFs. So thank you for letting me flash.
So are we looking forward to further flashing at other meetings?
I hope so.
You're going to come when you can flash.
When I can come, yes, I would love to come. So I would like to report that all teaching positions in School District 60, unless something changed from last week, all teaching positions are filled. Now, maybe Stephen tells you those things too, but I thought I'd like to say that too, or Wade. Those are happy things to hear, that there aren't children sitting in classrooms somewhere without a teacher. And, we all wish those were all certified teachers, but, to have somebody there with in the education system for the kids is, what we all want. So it's happy about that. TTOCs covering, we have so when we have enough TTOCs in the district, teachers can be sick, and you don't like to be sick, but if you are sick and you feel that your class is being looked after carefully, that your principal knows you're away, they know who's in that class, you can be at home thinking about getting better rather than worrying and making yourself even sicker. Another nice thing about having enough TTOCs is we can have union rep training, which we're going to have on Friday. And Jennifer with TOC Dispatch really feels we'll be able to cover. We have about 15 people able to come at this time of year, and she's hoping that we'll be able to cover, the district will be able to cover those 15 people. And you will know that in the last little while we might not have been able to even do 10, so we're pretty happy. We're very happy about that. And bargaining. So the bargaining is going on, as we know. So that's a good thing. My questions, or a question I have, was when you were asking, would you let your name stand for chair? Yes, no, yes. What would happen if it was no?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'd ask you to clear the room.
I'm confident that wouldn't
That
happen because
before.
as board trustees, we couldn't allow it to happen. So somebody would
So
step
somebody
up.
would step up
I'm
and
sure.
do it. I just wondered if there was a process just in case that something in the event, odd chance.
No, we can't run with vacancies in our assignments.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so somebody would have to,
Somebody
little
was
arm twisting would go on.
Parachuted in.
Thank you.
pretty confident that would happen. So
I'm sure one of us would volunteer.
we don't have Cupie here with us. So we,
I'm sorry, I do
oh,
have
you're not
one more
done.
thing.
Okay, sorry, Donna.
My tongue is still. In the minutes, there is, and I don't have the sheet right here, but I scribbled down, so I have to read my own scribbling. In the minutes, there's a note in red that said any use of an electronic device such as a computer or cell phone is related to the business of the meeting. So does that mean any of you, if you were to see you with a
And it's
device?
a really important thing. Our board meetings are live streamed and available to the public. They're not live streamed right now, but they're recorded and they're available to the public. So if they see Trustee Gillis on her phone doing this during the meeting, they know that what she's doing during the meeting on her phone is related to the meeting. Also, when you see everybody's computers out and open, our focus during the meeting is meeting business.
Okay, thank you. So that wasn't or isn't a regulation for observers then? It's, you know, I could have my phone and be, okay.
No phone.
Okay. I wouldn't have mine either.
No.
Okay, thank you.
It's just so that if people are watching or looking as observers and you're seeing something go on, you know that it is legitimately part of the business that we're doing.
Thank you.
All right. So we don't have anybody here, as I said, from either CUPE or the District Parent Advisory Council. So we'll move on to questions from the press and public related to agenda items.
You gonna flash us, Glenn?
No, no flashing. I actually have two things.
Okay.
The trustee engagement for the Remembrance Day. I think the Remembrance Day services have been really, really well and attended very well. I do know that people have been a little bit upset when they were walking out front here and they're looking up on top of the school building and seeing our CMP officers.
So after the attack at the memorial, War Memorial, and Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, when crowds are a certain size for Remembrance Day, they have a presence to deal with something if it's untoward. And RCMP requests that they be able to put snipers on our roof for
I just know
coverage.
it makes a lot of.
Oh, it makes it, I don't like it either, but I know that, I have family members that are RCMP that marched in Red Surge, and it's a bigger place and they have someone. I did Hudson Hope this year and I went, oh, there's no sniper. It feels different, but.
And part of that.
Just to clarify a little bit, it started after 9/11 that they went on to that's when it started here.
Okay.
And they also do, like, Dorena and Taylor, they have one up on there too.
And I know that, I don't know how many people know that the Supreme Courts are no longer allowing a poppy to be worn in the courts.
What?
I mean, that's just in one province and the judge
Yes.
has a,
It's definitely in Quebec and Ontario.
but the judge gets to decide, right, if he's gonna allow it in his court. It's a personal, yeah, I heard that.
It's to do with poppies may sway public opinion for those that are in the courts. And the other one that I had was regarding the school psychology program. Are they in any relation to the BC Health with the Health Protection Occupation Act, which go to the colleges? Because they've got a lot of, I don't know if they're related.
I'm not sure. I know that there's a school psychologist association and there is a psychologist body. What we're looking for is, it doesn't matter whether it's health or whether it's education, we're just not producing enough. We're interested in a program that would allow us to work on supporting local training for a school psychologist or supporting somebody in community.
Because there's a lot of psychologists leaving BC because of the HPOA. And that's why I was wondering if it's any relationship with the health, with the BC Health in relationship to what the schools are looking for.
I don't think so. Stephen, do you have anything that you want to
No.
add?
No, this letter's to do with the education, and so it's not actually part of what their association is, yeah.
I mean,
Okay, I didn't know if they'd be running on like the colleges for psychology, which follows under the HPOA.
and we basically have had a shortage of school psychologists throughout the province for quite a long time. And we've been very strong as a board in terms of advocacy for supporting teacher programs that allow us to grow our own teacher candidates locally and where training opportunities are provided locally. So this is what we're asking for here, because when they approached us, they're looking to change some of the restrictions that currently apply in where and when and how they're offering the program that would allow them to have candidates in rural areas.
I was just curious. That might be why there's not very many psychologists in BC.
All right. If there are no further questions there, could I please have a motion to suspend the regular meeting and move into camera? Bill, then Thomas, calling the question. All in favor? And Leah, please stop the recording. Could I please have a motion that the in-camera motions be brought forward for implementation? Moved by Bill, seconded by Ida. All in favor? Thank you. Now I need a motion for adjournment. Moved by Bill, seconded by Madeline. All in favor? We are adjourned at 8:30.